Hi, welcome back to the Distance Energy Work channel. Today we're at Lake Erie, and Lake Erie is not completely comfortable right now due to this big algae bloom that's going on. So anyway, it's really a privilege and an honor to get to do some healing out in this area and hopefully create some nice benefit for the lake. So first, I'd like to just thank the Mother of the Universe and the Creator of all things as it exists both within the lake and the viewers, all of you watching, and myself for allowing this healing to happen and supporting this process. All right. Thank you to everyone. Thank you to everyone. So the first thing I noticed when I started looking at the lake energetically was a kind of a lyric quality in this lake. That means a fine aesthetic sense and a delicacy of sensitivity to details. And the lake, this lake, is one of these great kind of life-giving bodies who is supportive of the environment, not only in the lake itself, but also around the lake. It's part of the support system for the whole land structure around it. And one of the things I was looking at as I'm looking at the lake, I'm just taking a little read on the lake now, and as I'm doing that, the waves are starting to come in big. Anyway, one of the things I'm noticing here is that this lake, of all of the lakes that we visited, we still have one more to go, Lake Ontario, but of the three that we visited thus far, this one, its range of manifesting skills or abilities is closer to the relative field of existence than the others. The others, the great big deep lakes, are more silent. Their devas, their intelligences, have more of a silence to them, and the area or the level on which they interface with humanity and the rest of their environment is at more of a silent level, whereas this one is at more of a relative level. Also, this one is a lot more responsive. I noticed on several occasions the water itself being extremely highly responsive to our consciousness as we were coming in, so that's really cool. It's a really cool lake. It's a really awesome lake. But it is feeling really ill right now. And I just wanted to reassure all the listeners, especially if you live in the area of Lake Erie, Cleveland or Toledo or some of the surrounding areas, that there are already is a kind of a council or a committee of intelligences, earth intelligences, that are already working on giving some support to Lake Erie. So that's number one, that there are a field of intelligences working together to support this healing, but also from the level, from a broader perspective, from a more cosmic perspective, there are also, we're tying in some of the, what I'm seeing happening is an integration due to the bringing in of some of the more cosmic, bigger devas, so big that they're like galactic size, you know, universal or more universal size beings. That the balancing area needed for this lake is, if we look at the spectrum from unmanifest to manifest, there's the center section that we've worked on in the last couple of healings, and now we're going into this section between the center and the edges. So if you think of it as a bell curve, we're kind of in the walls of the bell, right in there. And in this area, we get some really interesting kind of reflections, both reflective qualities, but also opposites playing off of each other. And one of the things that we have playing off of each other here is that those who are utilizing the laws of nature in this area for benefit and profit, as they should, and as is needed to help support life in this area and throughout the whole country, also need to be a little bit more aligned with the subtler energies in the area in order to be able to maximize their profit margin and be able to work sustainably. So We're just going to go into these areas. And if we were thinking about this in terms of the layers of the physiology, which I've outlined and talked about quite a bit before, we'd be looking up and about the spirit, upper causal to spirit area on one side, and around the mental and etheric level on the other side. So when we're talking mental and etheric level, we need to be able to visualize, because this is going to be etheric, right? So we're mental and the mind think and visualize in terms of all possibilities. The possibilities that the farmers and the industries in this area can do the work that they need to do in such a way that is also life-supporting for the lake and for the land. So that's the first thing, is to be able to really know that such an option or such possibilities exist. And I know that with people's creativity, there are lots and lots of amazing ideas that are going to come forth as a result of all the work that many people are coming together right now to try to help solve the problems for Lake Erie. So as that happens, I know that that will gain all support. But to augment that support, we're going to go down to the spirit and causal level of the structure that we're working in here, this bell curve structure, to see what can be done at that level that will help bring in better support of nature, more creativity, more intelligence into the work that those who are already applying and appealing to nature and applying their intelligence are accomplishing. So down at the causal and spirit level, what we have there is karma, basically. So we're looking at karma, because the causal level of the physiology is where we begin to structure or shape the sort of pure energy that comes from the deepest source level of creation into shapes and forms that will eventually manifest to material level. And at the spirit level, we're working within the range of space-time. And we're looking also at past life influences and future influences, past and future influences. So just at that level, I'm just taking a look, and I don't know what's going to happen, but we're just going to look and see. And I'm asking the lake too if the lake would like to show. So the lake is showing that at that level there seems to be a kind of an aggravated energy, like a kind of a kind of energy. And some of it has to do with anger. So it appears that there are, we know that waters can hold or be the receptacles for emotions and feelings. So we know that over a course of time, the feelings of all the people will go into the waters, and that's why the water has a tendency to have a purifying effect on the environment. But the earth is so big, and the deva in this water is so big. It's not, I wouldn't say that whatever generosity the water has given to the people in terms of sucking out their negativities is actually really truly long-term damaging to the lake. I don't think so. There's really also a lot of sweetness in this area, and there's so much sweetness in this lake. So but there's something deeper, and it feels as if there have been times in Earth's history with various kind of formations of or flows of energy across the globe as a whole, where certain energies have been pulled down, like when the glaciers came down and pulled lots of energies down into this area. And so that definitely cruder periods in the history of the world have come into play in this area. So this very tender-hearted, very sweet lake has been working with or dealing with, I'm getting confirmation from the lake, the big waves are coming, with these old ancient energies that came from a less refined time on Earth. And all the people watching, all of us watching, know that we also have had less refined times in our own history. So what we want to go do is we want to go back, we want to into the sacred garden, the sacred inner sanctum of the self, and we want to bring in at that point a lot of forgiveness, love, acceptance, embracing of all the past conditions, all the past situations, all the past circumstances and feelings that may have come up, and just sit with that gently as nature starts to move it. And see, the thing is, this is so beautiful. Just as this is happening, then that Davic level that's in the waters. As I mentioned, there's kind of like a council or a collection of intelligences that are working together to do this healing. And so they know exactly what to do as we start to bring our attention into that area. The purification, all purifying out traumas and angers and fears and terror and all kinds of other kinds of darker, lower frequency energies that have been contributing to this process. Oh, wow. Are working to clear that, not only from the lake, but also from the beings, the physiologies of everybody watching this video. And as that happens, really nice form of healing energy is coming in. I call love matrix. So the love matrix can come in. It looks like it would be nice to have a truth matrix come in as well, because part of what makes situations more difficult or lower frequency is not just the situation, but it's our interpretation of it. So we want to be able to see every situation in its broadest perspective and know that this incredibly sweet being out here, this Lake Erie, had taken on this algae stuff in order to elicit a response from humanity in the area, which is going to move all of the people and all of the United States, and it could even create new principles for farming practices that may go across the whole US or across the whole world to help enhance and motivate better sustainability and better sensitivity to the environment. All right. Thank you everybody for joining me for this healing. We'll look forward to seeing you again at Lake Ontario and Niagara Falls. Thank you.